have one other question. This is kind of related to this, but maybe it is more related to your enterprise services division, which we also made a video about. But I guess in situations like this, it might become really important to figure out what rate schedule to subscribe to, because most of these utilities have multiple options to choose from as a CNI entity, or I don't know, maybe from district to district it's different. Maybe you don't choose it, but they impose it on you. So how does that whole dynamic work? Do you guys help say, oh, sign up for this tariff versus that, or like, is
Yep,
there
yeah,
a
100%.
optimization going on there as well?
Exactly. So that's actually done in our E2B developer, so that modeling tool.
Yep.
We have all those capabilities where you could try out any different rate tariff at any utility. So if you're on San Diego Gas and Electric, you can look at, the ALTOU rates, the DGR rates. You can compare, hey, what is the overall like cash flow analysis year after year? If I switch to like this experimental rate, what would that look like?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have all those capabilities, and we have, account managers, and we have an enterprise service team that can help you with all those things.
Yeah, because I guess the trick of the game is to know what the options are and to really understand all of that. And so who helps businesses understand that better? I guess your enterprise services division does that. But are there other entities out there that, or are there businesses that do that? Or is it like when you call them, you get the utility service like customer service people help you with that? I guess
Yep. Yeah, we literally have a utility rate service department,
yeah,
and they help you right through that whole thing. They can help you do it as you're in like the proposal stage where you're trying to see, hey, like, how can I make solar pencil? Are there other rates available that make this more attractive? A lot of the rates are, only possible to switch to depending on, hey, do you have solar or do you have battery on site? So we can help you with all that stuff. They figure out, yeah, based on your project, the sizing you're trying to achieve, whatever kind of, export limitations you might have, this is like kind of the best rate to be on.
okay, please continue.
Cool.
I don't wanna cut you off.
No, all good. So then, yeah, we'll just kind of go down. So the next tab is the utility bills tab.
Mhm.
So if you click into this, what you'll see here is up on the top left, you are the rate schedule. So the exact tariff you're on right now with all the attributes. So this one's on San Diego Gas and Electric's DGR rate, has secondary connection, doesn't get the care discount, and is outside of San Diego city limits. And these you can see are all the historic billing periods that have happened at this site.
Yep.
And just at a high level view, kind of what you see is what was the energy usage? So what would the energy usage have been if you didn't have solar, didn't have battery? What was the actual energy usage after having solar and battery? What was your peak demand before solar and battery? What was it after? So that big spike, what was
Yep.
the actual biggest spike? And then what were we able to really achieve with this project?
Yep.
How much did the solar output that month? What was your overall bill savings? And then what was your actual bill offset as a percentage of the savings? And what's really cool is if you click into any of these, it gives you a really cool breakdown of exactly kind of where all those numbers came from. So again, top left, total savings for your bill and the rate schedule. And then you can see just a simple breakdown of, hey, where did my savings actually come from? So for this site, out of my $15,000, 12,400 came from my solar. An additional $3,000 came from my energy storage system, and I still have about $4,000 left to pay. And then kind of going left to right here. Here is your energy usage. I kind of do the same thing. I'll kind of turn these up and kind of go one by one. But throughout the various time of use windows, what was your energy usage like? If you didn't have solar, didn't have battery, how much energy did you use during the on peak? How much during the off peak? How much during the super off peak? Then when you add in solar, you can kind of see the same thing. So this is after solar, so not factoring in battery. What would my energy usage look like? So you can see we had a ton of export during the super off peak window because, hey, that's when the solar was generating, but also that's when energy is super cheap, so not the most advantageous thing to do. Then when you layer on battery, you see, okay, how did the battery actually really shift my energy around my different time of use windows when energy was cheap, when energy was expensive. So what you could see here is the actual energy usage increased with my battery during my my super off peak period. I actually exported less during my super off peak period, but as a result, I was able to shift all of that usage and then, or all that energy, and decrease my usage during the on peak, decrease my usage during the off peak. So I was able to shift all this extra energy from, hey, when energy is super cheap, shift it to when energy is super expensive, and decrease the actual imported energy from the utility that I'm paying for.
So can you take off the solar and the battery again? And so, oh, okay. So that's not zero. That's still at 12,000 kilowatt hour on peak usage there. Got it. Okay.
Yes.
I was like, yeah, got it. That makes sense. Cool. Very cool. And so the light green and the light orange below is the
That
piece
is
of solar
that is
exported.
exported energy. Yeah. So how
That's
much did I
exported
actually
energy.
say, hey, I'm not even able to
Yeah.
use this at my site. I'm just going to send it back to the grid.
Yeah. And the off peak time is like past 5 p.m. Is that, or is that like before? So like the middle section of the graph is how is
Yeah.
that
Let's go
defined?
check. So if we look down here, so what you can see is, let's just pick a day going from midnight, pick a couple of days here. So from
Yeah,
midnight
for those.
until, what is that, 2 p.m. is
Yep.
the super off peak. Then it goes to the off peak period from 2 p.m. to
6 p.m.
or 4 p.m.
Oh, 4
And then
p.m.
from
Okay.
4 p.m. to 9 p.m.,
Is on
that's
peak.
yeah, that's the on peak, and then it kind of shoulders down, and
Yeah,
then
got
goes
it.
to super
Got
off
it.
peak again.
Cool.
But yeah, you can see kind of like the how variable the energy cost actually is day to day at this site. So it goes from 16 cents per kilowatt hour all the way to 59 cents per kilowatt hour. So being able to shift, that energy usage from,
Yeah.
hey, I'm going to take extra solar energy from this period and actually use it this period actually offsets quite a significant amount.
And all this data is fed in through your own hardware and software protocols, I assume, into the app. It's not data coming from the utility. It's actually data coming from the customers or the developer's own hardware and software installed on the site.
Yes, we can actually do both. I'll get a little more into the
Yeah.
utility one, but yeah, all this data that you're seeing for this site and the majority of our sites that you're looking at to power this up, we send out a meter when you purchase ETV monitor as well as CTs. So this comes from actual hardware installed at the site that's picking up these different channels, these different energy use traces, and they publish it all right to our database.
Yeah. Great.
Cool. And then on the right side, you can see kind of all of this data, and you can see basically in a table view, how did it actually affect my actual dollars? So, it's great. Hey, I shifted a bunch of energy from super off peak to the on peak.
Mhm.
What does that actually mean? So you'd be able to see, hey, here's your original bill up top, and it's broken down by the different charge types that make up your electric bill. So if you have some kind of flat charge with the utility where it doesn't matter how much energy or how much demand you have, we're just going to bill you, $200 like service fee every month.
Yeah.
That's the other charges. Then you have your non-bypassable charges. Then you have your actual energy usage charges. And then you
Mhm.
have your demand. Hey, what was my big, spike charge basically for the month? So you can see originally my bill was $19,000, and this is kind
Yep.
of different components that made that up.
Yep.
You could see, hey, my solar total savings was $12,400.
Yep.
It shaved $900 off my NBC charges, $11,000 off my energy charges, and $37 in demand charges.
Yep.
And then when I layer my battery, how much did my battery actually save? So same thing. It saved $2,000 in energy charges, and it saved an additional $1,000 by flattening that
Mhm.
peak this month.
Demand charge. Yeah. The 2000 almost 1918 that charge is from energy arbitrage basically. That's
Yeah,
saved.
this one right here. Yep, basically from shifting that
Yeah.
energy from, or that extra solar energy from the cheap
Yeah.
window to the expensive window.
Great.
Yep. Yeah, and then same thing down here. You can see the energy usage breakdown and the demand breakdown by time of use window.
Cool. Very cool.